Are you living with purpose, passion, and making a difference in your life's journey? Well, you've come to the right place. The X Factors to Success podcast radio show. Great day to you all, and welcome to the X Factors to Success podcast radio show. I am your host, Ruggero Fratarcangeli, also known as the G-Man. And welcome everyone to podcast number 20. And podcast number 20, we have a very special guest and dear to my heart. But before we introduce this guest, who is very influential, but also a great friend and a mastermind partner, let's start off with a great quote, and hopefully this can resonate with you all. A quote as follows: "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail." By Ralph Waldo Emerson. What is your path? What is your trail? Are you living with purpose and passion? So, in this podcast, we talk about the 5 key pillars: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. And our guest, Sorens Rughooputh, will bring to us today his experience from Mauritius, Africa. And this man here is so inspiring and so empowering that he's made some great strides. And Sorens Rughooputh, a little bit about her background, and I'm sure he'll share with us. Sorens has been handling extensive budgets during the most of his 28-year career as an insurance and financial services specialist. He stepped into the life insurance operations in the 90s and quickly demonstrated exceptional capabilities. He has held numerous managerial positions and currently Vice President of Technical Service, such as also Senior Vice President, Business and Channel Development, Deputy CEO, Principal Officer of Botswana in Africa. He is currently working as Chief Technical Officer at National Insurance Company in Mauritius. As freelance consultant, Sorens was also called to review the distribution channels for an insurance company in Lagos, Nigeria. Moving forward with great amount of success, in 2017, Sorens followed training in the U.S. and became a certified Jack Canfield trainer on the success principles. He has already introduced the principles to more than over 500 plus people in his Achievers Trail workshops to develop and guide the upcoming leaders to live their dreams and passions. As a speaker to the first Pan-African Banker Assurance and Alternative Distribution Channels Conference in 2018 in Accra, Ghana, Sorens' topic of discussion was embracing disruption to meet customer expectations from protection to enrichment. Without further ado, we're going to hear more about Sorens. So, welcome, Sorens, and welcome to the X Factors to Success show. How are you?
I'm fine, Ruggero. Thank you for the introduction, and very kind of you.
I hope I didn't botch up the things that about your background, because there's so many things about you today that we're going to hear about. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, as you said, this is the background. So I think for us, we need to think about the future. And based on the background experience, so we need to look forward. And I think this is more important for the time being.
You're absolutely right. We have to look for the future. Like I opened up my quote by Ralph Emerson. Again, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. And definitely you're taking a new path. And as you said, let's take a move forward, right? We have to move forward, upward and forward. So, Sorens, how are things up in Mauritius, Africa?
Well, Mauritius is, as you know, it's a small island not far from the main Africa. And though we are very small, but there has been lots of progress, and we are one of the fastest growing economy in Africa, and also in terms of education and leading the financial services and the tourism sector. And this is where lots of Americans, lots of South African and European come to relax and enjoy the beaches that we have.
Beautiful. I have it on my bucket list to come visit you in person. So we're coming live, actually doing a recording here from Delray Beach, Florida. So this is where I am now. I'm not in my normal studio in New York City. So Sorens, you probably seeing via our Skype call here, a little bit of a different background, palm trees in the background, fully sunny in Florida. Temperature here in Fahrenheit is about 90 degrees plus or 32, 33 degrees Celsius, those of you who are listening from different parts of the world. And it's warm here, but I'm so excited to have you on my 20th show, Sorens, because you're a friend that I met about a year and a half ago at the Jack Canfield Breakthrough to Success. And we've connected, and we became also mastermind partners, and we've grown so much. But the audience today wants to hear your success. We always bring a guest that has inspired, empowered, and made changes and had breakthroughs. And Sorens, the question is this here. Since this is the X factors to success, how do you define success in your world, and how can you share some of your experiences to the audience today?
Well, Ruggero, for me, success is something when you're fulfilling your life purpose, and I'm saying fulfilling because it is not something that you can just have success and then you stop. It should be continuous, and because your life purpose is continuous until your last day. So, which means that for me, success is continuous, and then when you go every time you go forward, you move to different steps.
Yeah.
And as you go, you'll see more life coming in, and you find new purpose in your life. So it's not an ending; it's ongoing. And since we met, you mentioned that we met for one and a half year, but I think we know each our. I know your purpose, and you know my purpose in life. What we have discussed our mastermind partner. But if you ask me how, I cannot. When I will say to people that I know you for 1.5 years, maybe the way I will talk about you, it's like we know each other for more than 25 years.
That is true.
Because we are aligned. We are aligned with the same purpose, and we are here to give to people. I think this is what makes us to be part of the same mastermind partner. I
appreciate that. Yes, definitely. Again, like attracts like, right? And when you have a purpose, you're in alignment, you're focused, straight through. So for those of you who are listening, the Breakthrough to Success is a 5-day seminar that Sorens and I have met in Philadelphia in the United States back in 2017. And we hit it off pretty well. And again, these principles, which we'll talk about today, of course, we're going to recommend the book from Jack Canfield. But let's talk about you again. That we see a lot of progress you've made in the past year and a half, but also since the 90s. You're in the insurance business there in Mauritius, Africa. You're traveling also in the mainland. What motivates Sorens? Give us some insight as far as motivation.
Well, before going in terms of what motivates me is let's go in terms of the experience that I had for the past 28 years in the insurance sector.
Yeah.
And the life insurance, you know that you sell something which is intangible, and you need to make people see in terms of a promise. Instead, when you're selling a car, I can show you the car, you can touch the car. But when I'm selling insurance, it's a promise. It is intangible. So how do you make something which is intangible for people to see tangible? So this is something which has helped me in terms of making people discover what is their needs in life, what they need to have, and what are the protection. And I think this is very important when you manage to show people in future needs. This will also motivate me to make people understand in future what they are going to become.
Interesting.
And when say what you're going to become is about you just imagine you selling an insurance policy to a young graduate just turning 25, just joining a job.
Right, and life is invincible, right?
Correct. So how do you show that young graduate? Think about what you will be in 5 years' time, what you will be in 10 years' time. How do you see your life? So it's the same. You will recall in one of the principles that we have in the book, the success principle.
Yes.
It says act as if you already reached that purpose. So the same way I realize that I have been doing it previously. So I make people act as if they have responsibility, they have kids, they are getting married, they need to buy a new car, So visualize their purpose in life. And this is something when I first came across with Jack Canfield principle. So this is where I link what I was doing for the past 25 and 28 years. And I was living my life purpose. And the thing is also about when you talk about something about motivate you, what motivates you?
Right.
I always ask myself the question, what happens if the thing which is motivating me doesn't exist? Will I be not motivated?
Oh, wow. Now you're getting very deep now, Sorens. Okay, so what if this doesn't
this
exist?
This is very important. So which means that if I say to you today, okay, this is motivating me. So what happens if tomorrow that thing does not exist? So I believe that once you know your life purpose, you always get motivated, and you don't need something to be motivated. You're already motivated. The fact that we are a human being, we can think, we can make a choice,
right?
We can decide what we want to do. We know what is good, what is not good. We can do some research on ourselves. We can read to improve self-development. So we have too many things that is motivating me for this purpose. Is I can't say there is one thing. So there's too many things. First, being alive. I'm here. I'm talking to you. I'm already motivated.
Right, and we are a distance of over 6,000 to 7,000 miles away across the globe.
Correct.
And we are motivated by this technology that we're able to see each other via this monitor and hear each other. That's motivating. Yes, indeed. Okay, I can accept that. Life purpose. In your own words, how did you define your life purpose? What were the little ingredients that Sorens have found in his pathway and breakthrough? Because there's many people out there, life purpose, I have no idea. In the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, you're in a country also that has opportunity, and there's also unfortunate families that don't have the opportunity. So what is it about Sorens in that market there, in that part of the world, that created the life purpose? Can you give us some insight of that?
What created in terms of, when you talk about, again, the life purpose is, for me, is I have defined my life purpose and I put it in words, which mean read, learn, and share.
Oh, I like that. Read, learn, and share. I'm going to quote you on that, okay?
So this is very important because I always think about people who don't know what to read and they don't know how to get access to books. And you know that the success principle is based on 40 years of experience, which have been put together into one book. And this is very important. So, and why not we? Because we have the opportunity to bring to people, to make people know about things that they don't know. And I was surprised when I was doing all these success principle workshop and talking to all the 450 people, which I managed to share the success principle. And when I discussed about the book, when I discussed the principle, so they were seeing me like a professional from Harvard. I said, no, I'm not from Harvard,
right?
But I'm from Mauritius, because they were saying that how come you know all these things? And I said to them, look, it's not about there's no secret.
There's no secret, right?
There's no secret. It's just about you need to read.
And the information is available for all of us out there to attain, correct?
Exactly. You have the information. You can Google, but the other thing, you need to know where to find the information and which information you need to have. So this is where I made up my mind and said, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read, select for them, learn what I have been reading, and share with them.
Beautiful. And it's like, wow, is it that simple to find information? Read, learn, and share. I like that. And you've made obviously great strides, over 450, 500 people in the last time or so in your teaching workshop. So Achievers Trail, is that your workshops that you're doing, right?
Yeah, Achievers Trail, and recently last April I did one workshop in Botswana.
Okay.
And targeting all the graduates from the University of Botswana. So this is something which I'm very grateful for. And when you move from a small island and then you go to the mainland Africa,
right,
and you share with them, and you see the brightness in their eyes coming in, and this is where as a trainer, as somebody who is sending some message to them, when you see that light in their eyes, so they were happy. So there's no money cannot replace the satisfaction that you get when you share all these principles. And when you make people knowing their life purpose.
Wow. Now in your, I know you speak another language also, Sorens, right? Do you speak you speak French, as I understand?
French, and also in Mauritius our normal language on the street language, let's put it is Creole.
Creole, okay. Now, in these workshops that you're motivating, engaging people, do you present them in what language mostly?
Normally I start with English, but when you give some example, so I customize it to the local language and giving the example for them to better understand. But luckily in Mauritius, as I said, the literacy rate is quite high, so many people know English, French, and Creole, so there's no problem just to pass on the message to them.
Beautiful, awesome. So, Sorens, you've been very passionate in life, and obviously we just mentioned that you have a brand. Your company is Achievers Trail. Okay, what's been one of the most fulfilling events, which I think you mentioned already, in this journey of yours right now? What's been your fulfilling that's giving you more fuel to propel and to move forward, Sorens?
Well, first thing is to have that breakthrough workshop with Jack Canfield. This is amazing, and after that there has been lots of in fact I went I thought about as if what I wanted to be, and recently to be invited as a speaker in Ghana, and this was my breakthrough goal. And thanks to all these training and all this sharing with the success principle, and also about making people know about the life purpose, and you will see the topic was enhancing customer needs, from protection to enrichment. So enriching people. So everything is going toward the same line, and enriching people life and making them know their life purpose. Because, as you said, many people, when you ask them, what are you doing? Where do you want to go?
Right.
What do you want to achieve?
What you want to achieve. And again, for purchasing, I guess, insurance, I mean, we say, well, I don't need insurance, but again, the responsibility of family and moving forward and in 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, it's quite challenging. So you're very successful at this here. So you're seeing some great breakthroughs. So thanks for sharing with us, Sorens. I'm going to ask you this here. I mean, we all have to find failures in our journey. And again, I always use this notion here that failures are something that gets you to a direction where you need to go. So what's the biggest mistake or failure that made you learn in order to get to your direction of purpose?
Well, before I share the failure that you just mentioned, I would like to quote something what Muhammad Ali said, the famous boxer.
Please do. Share with us.
So he said, impossible is just a big word.
Impossible is just a big word, okay.
Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live the world they have been given than to explore the power. To explore the power they have to change it.
Wow. That is deep. So, So what does that quote give you? What insight does it give you? And share with us with the audience.
This is where when you talk about failure is part of when you are achieving your purpose. Definitely, there is no red carpet in front of you. There will be something as that's why I've named my company Achievers Trail, because Achievers Trail is you leave a trail, and a trail is not smooth. You need to find your way. You need to leave a trail. And failure is something that you learn. You might not achieve your goal, but the thing is that whatever the response, whatever the result that you're having,
right,
is what you become in that process.
Yeah, it's what you become, and that's a quote from Jim Rohn also as well. It's what,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is what he said. Forget about the result. You set a goal, even if you are not there, but what you become in that process. So this is something which I relate to the quote from Muhammad Ali saying that impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men. And we don't want to be small men. We all have the potential to change everything, and we have the power.
That's powerful. I like that. I like that very much. And again, this podcast, its purpose is to inspire, to empower, and to share who's ever listening out there. And our 20th episode, we have over 1,300 downloads out there. And hopefully we'll get many more who's going to listen to this podcast and get inspired and to really follow the path of choosing a life's purpose. So, great quote there, Sorens. Sorens, what are you most grateful for lately?
First, I'm grateful to be alive.
Yeah, you said that. You're very consistent on that, to be alive.
Yeah.
So in this life's journey, just being alive and being aware.
Exactly. Alive and have a good health, surrounded with my family, which is more important, and have the support of my family, and also be able to live my purpose.
Yeah.
And once you are living your purpose, I don't think for me, I need to be grateful about other things.
Yeah, and you're in alignment with the X factors to success. They are the 5 pillars: faith, family, and friends. Correct. Fitness means health, right? Spiritual health or physical health. Finance, again, you need your economics in place, and fun activities. So,
yeah.
Now, Sorens,
and of course, just to add, surrounded with friends like you, like Michael, our mastermind partner.
Yes, and Michael out there.
And the thing that we don't need to be in the same country.
That's right. We don't have to be in the same location. It could be thousands of kilometers away, and still be in contact. Right, with today's modern technology, we're all connected. There's no excuse, right?
Yeah, there is no excuse, and then which means that we have been discussing via phone and Zoom meetings almost every week. But we don't meet. We don't have that physical contact. But yet we are sharing the same purpose.
Right.
So this is something which is very important. Our mind, how many kilometers away from Mauritius, and you are where you are in the US. So, but still we are discussing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and we continue on building this momentum, supporting each other. Now, people could say to you, like you mentioned, when you were in Ghana or in Botswana, Sorens, you're lucky. You're a lucky man. How did you learn that? I mean, did you go to Harvard? People ask you, but do you think people are just lucky in their success and how they're pursuing things?
Well, luck is something that you need to be prepared to be lucky.
How so?
And let's say I will give you I will explain to you, share to you in terms of an event about being lucky.
Okay.
And I was in Ghana. So I was in Ghana. I was supposed to meet somebody for a meeting where I wanted to discuss with the CEO and for a future business about success sprint, about training.
And this is a CEO from another big organization?
From another company in Ghana.
In Ghana, okay.
So I was looking for the appointment, and then he was saying that he's going to come, but he didn't confirm, and I keep on calling, and he didn't answer my call. But I still said, okay, let me go to that venue, and maybe his phone is not working. So I wait there for almost 2 hours, and this is where there's a gentleman next to me sitting, and everyone was talking to him. I just opened up a conversation with him and asking him, how are you? And I'm seeing that you're quite popular here. People are greeting you. Yeah, and then we discuss, we exchange our business cards, and he told me that he is in training. I gave him my profile, and suddenly he said, can you have a meeting? So now we are working on a project together. Wow. And I have reviewed their profile, right, because they are a training company, and I've changed completely their profile, and they are very happy. And we are planning to work together, and maybe in the coming months I will be there for a training. But let's say if I'm there after 2 months,
right.
not if I will be there in August, September, and somebody said to me, you are lucky. So it's not about luck. It's about being there at the right time.
But you created that. You said before, you opened a conversation. Now, before you
yes.
See that again, this goes into fear. Being fearful. And we create this whole imaginary, like, what's going to happen? Fear, false evidence appearing real, right? But you had the purpose. When you had clear purpose, you went, hey, you know what? I'm going to open my conversation with this gentleman next to me, and you started that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
correct.
But because it goes back to your clarity of purpose, because you're there to do, to make, to share, to learn, and to grow.
Mm-hmm. Because and then you need to prepare, because I had my profile with me. I opened up the conversation, because it's not about he is looking for me. I was there to look for my purpose.
Yeah, you seek, you shall find, right?
Yeah,
that's a good principle.
And guess what? The one I was supposed to meet, and the one that I met, is the boss who I was supposed to meet.
No kidding.
Yes.
Hold on. Now this ties into natural law called law of attraction.
Law of attraction. So had I been discouraged not to go there and complaining, blaming,
all right,
and finding an excuse not to be present there, what would have happened? I would have missed that opportunity. And can someone say to me that this is luck? Or I made luck work for me?
Yeah, you created luck there. Absolutely.
You created luck. So even now, a different scenario.
Yeah.
I was there. I didn't brought my profile with me.
By the way,
open the conversation.
Sorens, I'm sorry. Just to clarify, I know that we use different terminologies. A profile, in other words, is a resume, right? Or curriculum vitae, right?
Correct.
Okay, because sometimes this terminology we use in different parts of the world may not mean the same. So for those of you listening, again, your resume. Go ahead, Sorens.
Yeah, the resume, and then this is where you show what you do, what is your life purpose, what you want to do, and then everything is clear onto that. So which means that if they read it, they will be attracted. So this is I was saying, had I not bring my resume, just to use the same terminology with me, and had I not opened the conversation with that guy, so would I say that I was unlucky?
No, like I said before, you were prepared. Exactly. Les Brown, I like to use Les Brown. He uses this quote all the time. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared.
But not prepared.
And you
exactly.
And you were prepared there at that moment.
Yeah.
So those are the lessons that we need to have also, because if we don't are prepared to accept what's coming forth to us, well, they just keep on going by. They're always there.
Mm-hmm.
They're always there. Okay. No excuses. They're beautiful. Thank you. Sorens, in your journey, and I know that we share a mentor like Jack Canfield, over 40 years of experience. Again, his multiple books from the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and of course the Success Principles, how to get from where you are to where you want to be, the Aladdin Factor, and many more. Who would you say your top 3 role models, if you could share with us?
Apart from Jack Canfield, so I will give you 3 more.
Go ahead, because I'm sure people out there are taking notes as well. If they're driving, don't take notes, by the way. But if you're doing in your home and whatnot, take notes then. Just a little safety caution there.
I will start with Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, yeah, one of my favorites as well.
And Jim Rohn, very enlightening in terms of the quote, and then they make you realize about the meaning of life and about not complaining and about always get ready for things that you want to have. And the second one will be late Dr. Wayne Dyer.
I've been listening a lot of him lately, Dr. Wayne Dyer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why Dr. Wayne Dyer?
So Wayne Dyer with lots of all his talks about self, about spirituality, and I was recently reading the book, The 10 Secrets for Success in and Inner Peace. Very, very, very interesting, which I will recommend.
I just read that just recently as well. Very inspiring.
And lastly, it's about the commandments of Sri Krishna. It's a Lord from the Indian, so yes, Sri Krishna, and who have lots of stories about life. And maybe I can share with you in terms of, there is a book from with the title Sri Krishna Commandments, and it is in English, so you can have it from Amazon. Mm-hmm. And just to share with you one of the principles about never take a decision when you in an emotional state, be too happy or you're very frustrated.
Interesting. Never make an emotional decision when you're frustrated or happy. Is that what you said?
Yes. I just rephrase it.
Yes,
never
please.
Take a decision when you're too happy.
Why is that?
Or, let's say that today you saved my life.
Okay.
Okay. I said to you, Ruggero, anytime you can call me, I will do anything for you.
Okay, that's a mutual friendship. Obviously, we care for each other.
Friendship.
Yeah.
So I made a promise with you, correct?
Yes, we have an agreement. Promise, okay?
Yes, an agreement. And now that someday you want a favor from me, but that favor is something that will hurt me.
Interesting.
But I can't refuse you because I made a promise to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So I made that commitment, that agreement when I was happy when you saved my life. Now that you have a personal interest on something that you want from me, but when I'm going to give it to you, it will affect my life. And
this is deep now, folks. This is Sorens. This is deep. You're going really going to the weeds now. I love it. Go ahead, continue on.
Now that if I am a man of principle, and I will have to keep my promise, I will have to meet my promise to you, because when you ask you, so I can't refuse because this is what I said to you, and now it is affecting my life. That's why whenever you take a decision, when you're happy, don't take decision, because don't promise something
that you cannot
you can't give, you cannot deliver. But even if you are going to deliver, it will affect your life.
Ooh. And this is the study. This insight that you got here. Is it from Krishna, from Ten Commandments?
Yes, this is the commandment from Krishna. It's about, you see it in the holy book of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, I'm going to take some notes here, because I'll put it in the show notes as well, and have the audience look into this as well. I'm going to get exposed to this. See how much I'm learning. Also, I'm learning. You're sharing and learning, like you said before, right? You read, you learn, and you share, and you're definitely sharing today.
Exactly. And in the same principle, when I said to you, you don't say something when you're angry, your emotion, because when you're angry, you can say something that will hurt somebody. So this is straightforward.
Okay. Again, these are the principles going in right in alignment with the X factors success, right? Again, fate, and again the principles of fate, and how you believe in your principles and values.
This is one of the principles. But I'll just to share with you quickly a first one, which was about, you have the saboteur within you. So you have the good voice and the bad voice. The good voice said to you, do something, and the bad one said, don't do it. If you want to keep it healthy, the bad voice will say to you, no, you can go for it. There's only one. No, nothing will happen to you.
Okay.
But the good one will say to you, don't do it, because you made a promise. So it's always about two things, like the two monkeys sitting on your shoulder. One is saying do this, the other is saying do it. So just to share with you some of the principles.
Or you could say the angel and the devil, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I think this is where it comes from.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, thank you for some of the insight there. I'd like to hear. I'll read more into it, Mr. Sorens. Sorens, what's been your biggest failure? You could share with us.
My biggest failure would be, like, I would tend to say I've started a bit late in terms of working on my life purpose, and I believe this, for me, it's a biggest failure. But as I said,
but you learn from this, though, right? This is the failure that you learn from. Okay.
Yeah, and if I go back to what we discussed about failure and then achieving a result, and what I learned from that failure. So it is never too late. And now that I know my life purpose, and even if there's a failure, I learn from it, and I change my course. It's the same way that when you're getting feedback. So when you're failing, you get feedback, you come back again. On course, off course, on course, off course.
That's right. Yeah. But you have to be willing to be open to see that you're off course in order to get back on course.
Definitely. This is given, because otherwise there is no feedback. There is one way. You are not on the one way. You are on a two-way traffic. You need to get feedback.
I always associate this, Sorens. It's like a ship outside of the marina. You're out in sea. What do? We go left, right. We go north, south, east, west. Where do we go? We have to have some kind of you have to have a destination in order to understand what direction you're going to. So when you're going off course, do you need some parameters? What are the things that you need to? What do you look for as you're going off course?
Well, being off course, now that when I know my life purpose, so you know about something which is not working. So you have that your subconscious mind say to you that look, Sorens, you're not on the right path. And it is amazing that when you work on yourself, you still get that gut feeling. Something is saying to you, you're not right. And when you sleep with a problem, you wake up with a solution. So this is something which is very important. I always tell people, if you have a problem, sleep with that problem, and in the morning you will wake up with a solution.
Okay, so that means this leads me to this here. Do you have habits and behaviors that you follow, mostly improve? I mean, What's certain maybe I guess behaviors that you do or rituals? Let's put it this way, that you do every day if you do.
The ritual is always about reading every day. Ensure that 1 hour reading every day, and then something which is aligned with my life purpose and stay focused, and always working on myself and how to improve. And one more thing is about taking action.
Okay, well, taking action. So, I mean, you know what, Sorens, I have no time to read 1 hour a day. I'm so busy. How do you find time?
I think we have enough time. We have 24 hours a day.
I know, in 168 hours in a week.
Yes. And how I find time for me, and I think this is very common for everyone. I used to watch TV a lot, so I've cut TV time. And when I'm doing anything at my place, I always have my earphone and always listening to something, something which will enrich me, which I'm going to learn. When I'm driving, I always have my CD. Be it Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Wayne Dyer. And now, you have so many facilities with your smartphone. You connect it via Bluetooth to your radio in your car, and you have a surround system.
Right. Again, you're finding it. You're filling the time now with good, positive information. And again, that's a habit that you created and a behavior that you've done, and it's bringing you results. So thank you for sharing. And those of you listening, again, you're probably listening to this podcast right now in your car while driving from work back to home or home to work, whatever. Or you're working out, walking a dog, whatnot. So as Sorens has said, his exposure is to find the time. If it's half an hour or 15 minutes, expose yourself with good information, good reading. And again, I'm also a member of the Audible, and I download books, and all the books that I listen to now in my travels has been tremendous. It's been feeding me with great information and constant learning. So thank you for sharing that with us, Sorens.
Yeah.
Sorens, we have a few more questions before we wrap up. I know that great valuable information that you're sharing about your purpose and, again, how it relates to many of our listeners out there who's chiming in and listening up. Do you have any specific books that you could recommend that inspire you the most? I know you mentioned a couple already. Maybe you could re-mention again, but any specific books that you want to share with us today?
Yeah, I will start by those who haven't been able to read the Success Principle, to start with the Success Principle.
Okay, that's number one.
And number two is The Shift by Dr. Wayne Dyer.
The Shift?
There's a book, The Shift. Yes. And there is also a movie, The Shift by Wayne Dyer. And
yes, I've seen that numerous of times as well.
And the last one, which I've discovered, is Solve for Happy.
Say that again, please.
Solve for Happy.
Solve?
For Happy.
Oh.
It's by a guy called Mo Gauda.
Okay, Solve for Happy. Okay. I'm going to put these in the show notes also, and to share that with the audience so they could look into it.
Yeah.
So we have the Success Principles, the Shift by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and Solve for Happy. And who is the author again?
Mo Gauda.
Mo Gauda?
Yes, Mo Gauda. I will just let me give you. So it's Mo Gauda, Gawdat, and Mo Gauda was the chief business officer for Google X.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's new for me. I'm going to look into it too myself and invest in some new learnings and new readings as well. Sorens, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
It helps you about learning about being happy. And I will recommend many people to read that book. And you will have it on Amazon, on ebook. It's very interesting. And from somebody who explained to you about the life where he lost his son at the age of 21. And then questioning about what he can do to be happy, and if his son was still alive, will his son will be happy when he was doing something, and I think he has a promise he make a wish to make 1 million people happy.
Wow.
And this is where he explained about in the book how he will want to make 1 million people happy around the world.
So this leaves a question to you. Do you have any specific goals for 2018 that you want to accomplish that you could share with the audience today? So I know you're over 500 plus participants in your Achievers Trail. So I know maybe I'm pushing the buttons here, but just share with us maybe some of your a breakthrough goal for 2018 or into 2019.
2018, well, it might be 2018 and start of 2019 because some process take time. For me is to have more workshop in the mainland Africa and sharing the success principle, and also about living my life purpose. Read, learn, and share. You will know that I'm saying in some countries in Africa, except for South Africa, you will still have people who don't have access to books.
Right.
And these people, these graduates, they need some clarity, and they need to know how to work out their life purpose. So this is my breakthrough goal, and I'm doing it through my work, through my profession, and training, being a trainer for the insurance sector, for the financial services.
Right.
And with this, introducing the success principle, and have a session with them about knowing their life purpose. If I manage to spread another 1,000 or 2,000 people there, I will be happy, but I don't want to put a number.
Hold on.
And I want
you hold on. Well, you and I know that we have to be specific, right? Smart goals.
Yes.
So is it 1,000? Let's put a number out there. I'm gonna put your feet to the fire right now. Go ahead, Sorens. Come on.
yeah. We know that principle. Well, let's say in the coming year I will be reaching 1,000.
Okay.
This is one milestone, and one this is done. So there's more to come.
Sure.
This will be a good. This is my breakthrough goal, and of course, I'm also working on my book, The Achievers Trail, in terms of different stories about success and how to achieve. And few chapters have already been written, so I need to work to fine tune. And of course, if you have a story, you can be part of that book. There's no problem.
I could share some of my stories to you as well. I'm so honored. I'm so happy and grateful. Sorens, I want to ask you a question that has been asked to me from many, many years ago. If you were conducting this interview, what one question would you ask yourself, and why?
I would ask a question about how do you see life?
How do you see life? Okay.
How do you see life, and do you see with the remaining life that you have? We don't know how much you are going to live, how much years is remain,
right?
And how you're going to maximize your time. And despite everyone saying that we don't have time, but don't forget that 100 years back there was no fridge, there was no telephone, there was no microwave.
Mm-hmm.
There was no car, there was no airplane, there was only ships to travel from country to country, taking six months.
Right.
But now we have all these facilities. We can't complain about not having time. So I won't even ask about are you going to, how do you manage your time? As you know, I have 24 hours.
How would you manage your time? Right. I mean, time is the most valuable asset that we have, right? And we know when we're born, but we don't know when we leave and depart from our physical body, because it's all in our spirit in order to go ahead and live with purpose and live with passion and making a difference in this here. So time. Yeah.
Because time is the essence, and it's not about spending your time, but managing your time. Because the key thing, if you manage your time, you can achieve anything.
All right. So again, we cannot stop time. We all have 24/7, 168 hours in a week. But how do we allocate our events in the structure of time that goes by? Okay, yes. I like that. I like that very much, there, Mr. Sorens.
And the second question, maybe I will ask about how to be happy.
Yeah, you have a common theme here. Again, how to be happy. And again, as you recommended the book there as well, Solve for Happy. Happiness is within. It's within. It's what's happening emotionally. So interesting feedback there. So thank you there, Sorens. Sorens, I know we've got a couple more questions here, but we go here, Sorens, and we're going to ask you this here. So, what imprint, what legacy you want to leave the world behind? Since you're saying, we have a life, we have a certain time in this journey, and let's say it's 100 years from now, and people, let's say it's 100 plus years from now, and we're going to pick up the book. It says Achievers Trail. We're going to pick up this manuscript, Sorens Rughooputh, Sorens in the United States, Sorens in the Asian markets. What imprint? What do you want to leave behind?
Well, I want to be known as somebody as an ordinary man, but having able to do some extraordinary work. An
ordinary man to do extraordinary work. Can you embellish a little bit more in there, Mr. Sorens?
When you impact somebody's life by using what you have, and if you ask me, some people say, okay, if you want to achieve big things, you need to have lots of investment. And I say, no, you need to do ordinary things. For me, just about taking few books and look for the book, read and learn and share, and try to translate the what we have in that book and then share it with people. It is an ordinary work. Anyone can do it. But the thing is that the fact that you decide to do it, when you impact on people's life, this is where I see the extraordinary work.
Impressive. An ordinary man, but again, sharing and really making a difference in your life's journey. You're making a difference. Yeah.
And I think this is the key, because the thing which affects you, which marks the life of other people, this is what is much more important, because I can give you $100 and you can spend it. But if I teach you something, you're going to get $1 million.
Well, it's like the parable in the Bible, may I say. You could give a man a fish and they'll eat for one day. But if you teach men how to fish, they will fish for life. And that's the same parable principles there that we can learn from all different types of religions and spiritual teachings out there, and they're all in the same alignment. Sorens, it's truly amazing, right?
It is. But this Bible has been here for how many years?
Thousands of years, right?
You see, but how many people still remember that line, and how many people is doing it? This is the question. This is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Every day you have people going to pray, even in temple, in mosque, in anywhere they're praying. But how many people have been understanding what they are praying?
Right, and practicing the principles.
And practicing the principle. So the principle started, as you mentioned, so many thousand years. It is there. But how many people is doing? Because we are doing the same thing, trying to not to give the person a fish, but trying to teach the person how to fish, so that person can live longer in terms of living for a day. So the same thing is about making people and doing. And if you imagine this thing, is it not an ordinary man doing an extraordinary work?
That's powerful. Wow, I feel very inspired, Sorens. You just shook the chair off my tuchus here. It's amazing, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that insight and feedback there. So, Sorens, before we say goodbye or farewell until next time, where can our guests find you? Where can the audience find you if they want to reach out to you?
I have my my Facebook page, which is Achievers Trail, and I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn. So I will be anyone who wants to contact me. So leave a message on Facebook through private message. They will be able to get in touch with me.
Beautiful. So they can reach out to you and send you. Do you have an email that, or they can reach out to you from the Instagram or Facebook messenger?
Yeah, Facebook through Messenger, so it's easy. Then I can give them my email, and also I have few videos that I'm doing for the success principle and sharing almost every week about different topic, different principle, just to introduce it to people and make them understand. And this is so always sharing. So people say sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, and you definitely are doing that today on our show on the X Factors to Success. So, Sorens, what last comments or inspiring encouragements before we close and say farewell? What would you say?
I would say always say to everyone, find your purpose and live your purpose. And always make something that will change the life of people. And this is where you will be able to, people will remember your work, and not about your name, but about what you have been doing for them and how much you have improved their life. And it will go on, you pass on all the message to them. So I think this is the biggest thing that advice I will give to people. Anything, any small thing. It's not about being about education or about being rich or poor. Everyone is rich in their own way.
Right.
You can still give. If you have $10, you can still give $1. If you have $100, you can still give $10. It's about relativity in terms of how much you have. But it's about the giver's game. The more you give, the more you get.
Yeah. Tidings. You know, it reminds me of a book that I read once a year at the beginning of the year, The Richest Man in Babylon, and written 1937, 38, understanding how to distribute your givings. Even if you have small, but give like 10% here, 10% there, but it's about the act of giving. So, Sorens, I greatly appreciate all the insight of your experience, your recommendations on books, your role models, and the theme here is live your purpose, right? And read, learn, and share. And definitely, I'm so honored to have you on my 20th podcast show here. So, and this is our a great time here as well, and having you on the show. And I remember when I first started this podcast show, and I used you as a pilot, and I learned a lot from this process here. So, a wonderful human being, and making a difference in your part of the world. I'm looking forward to meet up in person again in the very near future, Sorens, and to share with the audience, as I've been sharing the last few podcasts, that I'm working on putting on a X Factors to Success conference here in the United States.
Yep.
We'll have to finalize a location, and we'll have you also as part of the panel. And we're planning on putting other guests also as well. Sorens, I bid you a wonderful, wonderful day, week, month, and year.
Thank you.
Many blessings to you and your family, and all the work that you're doing out there. And I know that you're making a difference on the Achievers Trail. And folks, look him up. Give him a shout out, and check him out on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm sure he'll get back to you and find out wherever you are in the world. Listen to this. You could be in the continent there of Africa, right there in the Mauritius as well. And share this podcast. Go on to the xfactorstosuccess.com. Go on to our Facebook page, our Instagram, and I ask you, please. That's right, please. I'm asking, right? Ask. to share this episode, to rate this episode, review this episode, and whatever insight you got, send me an email. I'll get back to you. And if you want to be on this show, send me an email and we could schedule an interview and see what you could share as Sorens did today. So Sorens, one last thing. Give us one motivational word or phrase before we say goodbye again. Go ahead.
Always give what you have.
Always give what you have. Well, there you go, folks.
Because you won't be able to give what you don't have.
Here you go, folks. Once again, you've been listening to Sorens Rughooputh from Mauritius, Africa, and spending a great fulfilled hour on this podcast and giving us some great insights, some inspiring thoughts and information on books and authors to look into. Until next time, we'd like to ask you again to send out this podcast to your family and friends and check us out. Don't forget the 5 X factors to success: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. I hope that we touch base on a few of these principles that Sorens has shared with us. Until next time, we'll have other future guests on our show. So without further ado, as I always say, the G-Man here, live with purpose, passion, and make a difference. Much success to you once again, Sorens, and blessings. Take care.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you, Ruggero.